There's a quiet storm surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and it's not about headlines or scandals. It's about two children, and a trail of paperwork that seems oddly fragmented for a family this high profile. The real question, what are they trying to hide? Let's rewind. Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor was born into royalty, yet the record of his birth contains a mystery that's baffled legal experts and royal watchers alike. On the official UK birth certificate, Meghan didn't list her full legal name. No, Rachel Meghan Markle. Instead, it simply read, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. No precedent, no explanation. Some say it's stylistic, others call it symbolic. But what really set off alarm bells? The certificate was formally corrected less than 2 weeks later. Not updated, corrected. That implies something was wrong with the original. That's rare, that's intentional, and that's where the pattern begins. Because when their second child, Lilibet Diana, was born, things got even messier. Publicly, it's been said that Lilibet was born in California. But behind the scenes, there's documentation pointing elsewhere, specifically Colorado. Now, why would two royals with a mansion in Montecito file anything through Colorado? Turns out the state has very unique surrogacy laws, more flexible than California's, especially when it comes to who gets listed on the birth certificate. And that matters. Because when the certificate for Lilibet was finally surfaced, sharp-eyed observers noticed something strange. Prince Harry was not listed by his full legal name. It didn't say Henry Charles Albert David Windsor. It said, His Royal Highness, the Duke of Sussex. That may seem like a harmless formality until you realize that in the United States, titles hold no legal standing. None. You can't register for school, obtain a passport, or file custody under the Duke of Sussex. It's like writing Batman on a legal form. Useless. So why do it? Some say it was an oversight, but Meghan is notoriously detail-oriented. Others believe it was strategic. Because if Prince Harry's legal name isn't on that document, he has no automatic parental rights in the US. That's not an exaggeration. US law recognizes parenthood through biological connection or documented legal intent, and a title doesn't satisfy either. Making things stranger, Meghan's full name does appear on Lilibet's certificate, unlike with Archie, where she removed her identity and replaced it with only her title. That asymmetry is telling, almost calculated. Now let's zoom out. Every other royal birth certificate, including Prince William and Princess Kate's children, features the mother's full name. Diana's did. Sarah Ferguson's did. It's not just protocol, it's legal standard. So why change it for Meghan, and why only with Archie? The palace claimed it was their decision. Meghan claimed she was forced. But even if that's true, it begs the question, why would the royal institution want to erase the legal identity of a child's mother? And what does that erasure enable? Because here's where things enter murkier territory: surrogacy speculation. Multiple sources have pointed toward a young woman in Colorado who reportedly gave birth in early June 2021. Her name remains sealed behind NDAs, but private investigators and watchdog journalists have drawn a connection between her and a fertility clinic linked to several high-profile confidential clients. Colorado's law allows intended parents to be listed immediately on a birth certificate, with no requirement to include the surrogate. In California, the surrogate must be listed at least once, even if later redacted. So if Harry and Meghan used a surrogate, Colorado would allow them to quietly bypass public traceability. That's not all. When Meghan was allegedly recovering from postpartum preeclampsia, a serious and dangerous medical condition, she was seen out in public only weeks later. No visible swelling, no protective measures, no clear recovery phase. Meanwhile, Harry was on a polo field in Aspen, smiling for the press. Does that sound like a man whose wife nearly died in childbirth? Then there's the hospital proof. The only public document released was a certificate of live birth, which is not the same as a state-issued birth certificate. It's a hospital record, used to initiate a real certificate, but not valid on its own. And the full version? Still unseen. If that certificate omits Harry's legal name, or lists a non-biological connection, he may be nothing more than a guardian in the eyes of American law. And that's not theoretical. In custody disputes, courts ask, is there a legal parent-child relationship by blood, adoption, or clear legal agreement? If the answer is no, even a biological parent can be sidelined. For Harry, without documentation or DNA, his claim is precarious. This could also explain Meghan's behavior. She's been seen consistently more affectionate, more emotionally invested in Lilibet than Archie. Some analysts suggest Lilibet might be biologically hers, while Archie may not be. If donor material or surrogates were involved for one and not the other, it reframes the entire parenting dynamic. Even body language experts have noted the stark difference in how Meghan presents her children in photos and interviews. One seems protected, the other sometimes distant. There's also the matter of timing. Meghan's reported miscarriage in July 2020 was followed by a suspicious visit to a Beverly Hills clinic, one known for elite IVF treatments. She carried a cold pack commonly used post-egg retrieval. The trip looked too casual for someone grieving a lost pregnancy. Was it all a fertility visit disguised as a recovery walk? Let's not forget the alleged birth video. A softly lit, perfectly staged video surfaced briefly showing Meghan supposedly post-birth. No medical staff, no masks, no tubes. At the height of pandemic restrictions, hospitals weren't even letting in birth partners, yet her room looked like a spa. All signs suggest this wasn't a real hospital birth. And all of this ties back to one overarching theme: control. Control over the narrative, control over the legal framework, control over who gets to claim the children, and how. Because in a future custody battle, documents are king. And Harry? He might be holding a losing hand. No legal name on the certificate, no biological proof, no power. Even now, years later, no corrections have been made to those documents. If it was all a mistake, why not fix it? It only takes a few forms, unless it wasn't a mistake. And maybe, just maybe, this was the plan from the start. Because when your children sit in the line of succession, your family drama becomes international law. And your secrets, they don't just belong to you anymore. They belong to history.